football experience week 10 DFS show for Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, WinBet is what you need to win. Sign up today and bet $100 and win $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET.
Hey, this is Eric Metcalf. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Week 10 DFS show for Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Oh man, we got you covered. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Dan DeBase Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh, Maction's back, baby. We got college football. We got 27 straight days of football in general.
Beautiful.
On TV. Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Absolutely fantastic. I am joined by the DFS god himself. Make sure you check out his columns he writes over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com or just get the SGPN app for free in the App Store or Google Play Store. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free lock giving farmer, Harrington Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's going on?
I mean, let me just give you. I got some type of music here somewhere on this. Here, let's just go with this one here.
You can't win.
All right, because I'm gonna beat you. All right, I'm calling it right here.
Talk a big game, buddy, but that rarely happens in reality. Rarely happens.
Yeah, well, we will see, buddy. We will see. The bottle of bourbon. Like CJ Johnson's injured. He's injured. He comes back for the final drive.
You tell me he's injured. I see him catching balls in the fourth quarter. I don't know what to make.
He missed the whole game. I went back and checked. He missed 2 quarters of football. That is a cockanimi play.
You know, since I'm so far in the lead, we don't even have to count that one. Okay. If he was truly injured and missed the majority of the game, it shouldn't count. Wipe that one from the record. Speaking of the record, neither you or myself did very good last week. Neither of us found ourselves in the money at all. So we can just quickly roll through that. Thursday, our guy Trashman79 took it home, and Jabari Smith fan came in second in the money. Friday was our guy Jamie8238 who won, and then a tie in second place between RR Bull Jr. and Trashman again. Do you think he's really a trash man?
Who is this trash man? All right.
I don't know. I think he's new to the group, but he's making a name for himself pretty quickly. So job well done. Saturday main slate, RR Bull Jr. wins. B Fur 54, another one of our sharpest players, comes in second. I think what killed me and you in this one was Sam Hartman. I don't know what the hell happened in that game.
I lost a substantial amount of money on that game.
I don't know why Louisville, all of a sudden looked like the 85 Bears. Sam Hartman looked like Mark Rippon or something.
No, he won a Super Bowl.
That's true.
You gotta say someone else. You gotta be like Sam Hartman looked like. Let's go with Tim Rosenball.
Rosenball, it is. He looked like Jeff George during a bad game.
Yeah. He looked like Jeff George, late in his career on the Bears. All right.
There you go. Or like Carson Wentz currently in his career. But hold on. Well, I got to talk about this guy because we brought him up in 2 straight weeks now, and I haven't heard any other, too many people talking about him. UCF's running back, RJ Harvey. I keep on telling you about this guy. 2 weeks ago, he was only 3K, had a decent game against ECU. Last week, he was only 4K. What did he do? Over 100 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. I know you were in College Station, so you probably didn't get a chance to watch much of the UCF game.
Oh, I watched like zero football besides that game. It was actually I was hoping some of the tailgaters would have TVs. No, I did not get my eyes on much. But I got my eyes on East Carolina on Friday night, getting that dub.
There you go. But I'm saying is I was right about RJ Harvey. I was wrong on some things DFS wise this past weekend. I was right about him. And then Saturday night, DTF 0402 down to fuck. He wins. And SJ Collins 724 comes in second. So
wow,
there you go.
Wow.
Currently, we have a Maxion slate up right now. And I think not to jinx it here, but I think myself and another gentleman, B454, we have the exact same lineup, but we are leading that race right now. Okay.
It's early. It's early. All right. I was in College Station. All right. And I was doing this.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Pretend it never happened and let's get on with our life.
Well, you know what? That was also me at the Virginia Tech NC State football game last Thursday, dude. A game that I was at in person, and oh man, that was I
was on the money line in Virginia Tech, so you can imagine
when they were 21-3, you were feeling pretty good, huh?
21-3 with like 15 minutes left in the game.
Finally, NC State just gave the ball to their true freshman quarterback, MJ Morris. They forgot about Jack Chambers.
No,
but what happened?
I give I have a hard time with whoever the OC is for Virginia Tech. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
What two different sequences when NC State was starting to get things going. Fourth quarter, he throws 3 passes, so he literally took like 6 seconds off the clock. 3 incompletions. It's like, dude, run the ball a little bit, make the game shrink a little bit. Your offense is not prolific. And dude, that game was extremely frustrating. But how was the fan base? I saw it was like military night or something. So did you dress up as a Navy sailor or something? Would you go?
No, I sure didn't. But dude, NC State Stadium, they come out, they support, and the Hokies travel well too. So it was a damn near full stadium, and I think just the lack of action led to more first half drinking. So let me tell you, we were feeling pretty good by the end of the game. So. A lot of fun in Raleigh Thursday night, but all right, are we ready to focus?
Yes,
on
but hold on. I see you're wearing that shirt. That is a campus edition college football experience. Fairfax, Virginia, George Mason, start your football program T-shirt, folks. Wouldn't it be nice to have your own football program? Get in there and buy those. And even if you don't like the Fairfax, Virginia one, there's one for all the cities. They don't say start your football program. Fairfax is unique to that. But check out
most of the SGP crew rocking the College Station ones on social media this past weekend.
Yeah, it was great. It was great having my first Jaeger bomb in a college experience campus edition T-shirt. All right. All right, let's hop into it. Let's really start giving out some winners, because I feel like this week I've done a little more, I had a long flight, got to really, pinpoint what I like, and I feel good about this.
All right, do it.
Give me week 10 Wednesday night action. We're going to start off with this is the College Football Experience DFS show. Let's go. What are you doing here in the first slate?
All right, well, so we got 2 games. Central Michigan, Northern Illinois, over under a 56. Western Michigan, Bowling Green, over under 47.5. Honestly, this slate is going to be a potential shit fest, because there is lots of unknown quarterback situations, lots of injury situations we're going to have to pay attention to leading up to kickoff.
I'll put it like this. I changed my lineup like 7 times in this.
A quick rundown.
Deep.
Man, I swear. A quick rundown of the 4 teams. Central Michigan quarterback Daniel Richardson got benched in the last game. He's been looking bad this year. I'm guessing Jesse Bauer, who came in for him, actually looked pretty good. I'm guessing he's going to get the start. That's only a guess right now.
I kind of think Richardson's going to get the start. He's the veteran that's been with them last year when they had success.
Sure, but he's looked bad ever since that Week 0 game against Oklahoma State. So
true.
We don't know. I have not heard a starter yet. And then Lou Nichols, their all-star running back, he's been out since Week 6. In his place, last couple games, Marion Lukes got the start. He got hurt. He got hurt last game.
He's doubtful.
So as right now, they had a true freshman, Jake Takaleski, come in. It looks like that.
Such a Mac name.
Yeah,
I love the Mac names. What's the wide receiver right now going on for Ohio?
What's his name? Wiggaloos.
Yeah, Wiggaloos. And then there's a player that I'm going to play in a little bit that should have some entertainment value.
Right. But you might want to just steer clear of that Chippewa backfield unless we get some clarity leading up until kickoff.
Not me, buddy.
Okay. Well, hey, same thing with Western Michigan. Jack Salopak, Jack Salad Shooter.
I loaded up on salad smack.
Well, he got benched last week. And Tracy.
No. He didn't play last week. The game before he got benched because he threw 5 interceptions.
Yeah, but the guy who came in, Trayson Bourget, he didn't look much better.
He only completed 48% of his passes. Right. I think Salad Shooter is going to be back starting for Western Michigan.
And then Rocky Lombardi missed a few weeks for Northern Illinois. He came back, but then got hurt again. So I don't know.
He's doubtful. He's doubtful. I read he was doubtful.
Yeah.
So and I think they're going to end up going with, they have a couple different quarterbacks. One of them being Lynch, the Temple transfer.
Did not look good in his absence.
Who's the other kid that played against Kentucky? I'm drawing a blank on his name. I had him in my lineup. I took him out.
Was it Hampton?
Yeah.
Ethan Hampton.
Yeah.
He looked better than Lynch. Your guess is as good as mine. So I say all that because I only have one quarterback, and not that I'm a huge fan of his, but he's the one thing I know has got to start and play, and that is Bowling Green's Matt McDonald for 7.9K.
Well, you're gonna know. We have a 2-game slate. So you're gonna hear a lot of this.
You have McDonald also too, huh?
Yes. Give me the kid out of Newport Beach, California.
Going up against the Western Michigan pass defense, only ranked 89th. Like I said, we know he's playing and starting and should not be benched.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had a second quarterback I went with.
Yeah. Who is it?
I went with Salad Shooter.
You went with Salad Shooter. All right.
Yeah. Well, look, my logic was this: he had that 1 touchdown, 5 interception performance, and he got injured that game. I don't think the coach is mad at him. I think he's starting. I think the coach, he got dinged up in that game and gritted it out. He played solid in a lot of other performances this year. He's a freshman. I think Tim Lester, who's a former quarterback himself, the head coach of Western Michigan. We're old enough where we remember watching Tim Lester playing the MAC. I think he knows to build confidence, and Salad Shooter's his guy. So I'm going to go Jack Salad Shooter at 6,600. Love me some action here.
Well, the worst passing defense on the slate is that of Bowling Green. So perhaps it makes some sense, but I don't even know he's starting right now. So just pay attention Wednesday if, a depth chart comes out or if he's named a starter. What I did do, I only went 3 running backs also. So I got 3 running backs, 4 receivers. How about you?
I got 3 running backs.
Okay.
Wait, okay. Yeah. I got 3 running backs.
You have 3 running backs and 3 receivers because you had 2 quarterbacks.
Yes.
My top running back, and this is another injury because Western Michigan's Ladarius Jefferson missed last week. Now, my guy, Sean Tyler, for 6.7K, he's their 1A running back anyway, but especially without Jefferson, I think he's going to get all the carries.
You got to roster him. On a wacky Mac Tuesday or Wednesday night. You got to take a shot on known commodities here.
Yes.
And he is a guy that is going to get some reps. So.
And we saw it last week with Jefferson out. He got the most carries he had all year, had 110 yards and a touchdown. against Miami of Ohio. So I'd expect a similar amount of touches at least come Wednesday night.
So give me your next because I had that running back. So do we have the same running backs?
So my next two running backs are both on Northern Illinois. And they have a pretty even split between Harrison Whaley for 6.4K and Ontario Brown for 5.3K. You got them both?
No, I got Whaley, but I will be honest. For a second, I had both. For a second, I switched. I pivoted off of it. But I have Harrison Whaley at 6,400, and so what was the price value of Ontario Brown?
He was 5.3K. And so the reason why I rostered two of those guys is that, like I said, I can't trust the Central Michigan backfield because I don't know who's going to be playing. There's potential, 3 different guys to get touches. And then Bowling Green, they haven't had a consistent running back all year long either.
I agree. And but to me, I mean, I just banked on the Thomas Hammock side of things because Central Michigan actually has the best defense in the MAC.
Yeah.
So I went on the side that, like, hey, I don't care that they're the best defense in the MAC. Thomas Hammock's a former running back himself.
Sure.
And I think he's just going to run the hell out of the rock. So, I went with Whaley. I did pivot off of the second guy, Brown, and I went to the Central Michigan game until I see otherwise. I'm going to go with the guy that seems to potentially not play. until I find out that he's a full scratch. I'm going Marion Lukes because the guy's averaging 6 yards a carry, a rush. So I mean 3 touchdowns. With Lou Nichols out and knowing their quarterback situations in a very interesting spot, I think their key to success is to run the ball. And so that's why I want a piece of the Central Michigan run game. I don't care how you.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense, and that's something that I might consider also. I could pivot. I mean, he's less than Ontario Brown for 5.3K, so you're going to want to pay attention, to Twitter leading up to this game, because leading up to both these games, and that is a potential pivot because if they're both healthy, then I do like the Lukes play better. But for now, say tomorrow gets crazy, I lose track of time, I don't have a chance to check Twitter before the game. Well, I know Brown is playing. I don't know that your guy's playing, but I see your point. I like it.
Yeah, and everyone give at TCE on SGPN a follow. We do our best to retweet all the injury news. So do that. All right. Well, wide receiver wise, well, I went with I went with a top price guy. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I had money. I think everybody's gonna have money in this slate. So I pretty much locked up the 2 most expensive receivers in the slate, and that is Northern Illinois' Cole Tucker.
Cole Tucker, that is a done deal. I know
Cole.
He always goes to the outside.
Cole Tucker sounds like a NASCAR racer.
The quote Days of Thunder. Yeah, I feel like everyone's gonna have him on their team.
Yeah,
right?
And I mean it makes sense. And then I went back to Western Michigan. I went Corey Crooms for 7K.
I thought about rostering him. But I actually had him in the lineup for a while, man. And then I switched off of it. So
yeah,
I jumped over and my second, I like the play though, cause obviously, he's their top dog. My second most expensive wide receiver, I'm taking it to the Central Michigan game. And yes, I know that we have quarterback concerns, but hey, what game doesn't? All right. Bowling Green would be the only one. But I think Daniel Richardson is going to start. His interception to touchdown ratio still solid. 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I'd be surprised if they pivot off of him. But I'm going to go with tight end Joel Wilson. All right. He's there. He has the most receptions on the team. And when you're struggling as a quarterback, you know who the best option is? That big old target. Joel Wilson also leads the team in touchdowns. He's got 5 touchdowns. He's got the most receptions on the team. So give me Joel Wilson as my value play here.
Okay, not bad. I didn't have that kind of money for my last guy, so I went back to Western Michigan. I don't like having this many Broncos on my roster, but I think at least they're the most clear cut team as other than the quarterback position as who's gonna be their main guys. So they have another receiver, their third receiver, Anthony Sambucci. Sounds like an Italian liqueur.
Yeah, I remember. It's an aperitif. No, it's a Sambucci. Anyway,
he's had at least 3 catches in 3 straight games. He's my punt play of the week for only 3.6K.
Well, this is my last guy on the roster here.
Okay,
and I'm taking you to NIU. Kakper, Rutkiewicz.
Are you drunk over there?
How do you pronounce that? How do you Rutkowitz?
Who the hell are you talking about?
Kakper Rutkowitz, the second leading receiver for Northern
Illinois.
Illinois.
I got you. I gotta love the Mac. Gotta love the Mac.
Dude, he leads the team in touchdowns. He got 5 touchdowns. I think he's a bargain at 3,800. So if you're telling me I get the second leading receiver and the guy who leads the team in touchdowns, I'll sign me up for that. These receiver names are hilarious. I don't know if you caught the one on Central Michigan, Noah Koenigsnecht.
I saw them all there too. Or the guy on Bowling Green, Levi Gazarek.
I love it. I want to go on a recruiting trip. I want to go in these kids' living rooms and fucking try to pronounce their names.
Well, I like that play. Actually, I like him better than Sambuca, but he was $100 more expensive. I couldn't fit him in.
Oh, that's not our battle of bourbon. You crazy bastard. What's our battle of bourbon here?
You know what? Let's ride there. I will go with. How about we do a bottle of Sambuca? No, I'm joking. No, all right. Let's do that. Let's do our 2 cheap receivers. I'll go Sambucci, and you go Rutkowitz. Roitkowitz.
Sounds good. So that is the Wednesday night Maction slate. I'm in love with this thing.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. Good luck trying to pick and choose who's gonna play and who's gonna do what Wednesday night.
It's the best. I love Maction. Do it the whole year, Mac. Please. We're please do it the whole year, even if it's one game early in the year because it's out of conference. Just do it. All right, folks. Before we get to Thursday's slate, I want to tell you folks out there that the College Football Experience DFS show for Week 10 is on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. And from boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, WynnBET does what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, win $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. All right, we are back talking little. Now this one's going to be fun. These matchups are actually pivotal.
Now we're talking
in the conference race of things.
It also includes the game I'm going to be at, so even better.
I mean, Nick's referring to Appalachian State's at Coastal Carolina in a game that is probably going to decide the Sun Belt East. I know Georgia Southern's still a player there, and even Georgia State's getting better. And
sure,
I mean, can we assess the Sun Belt for a second? Because in the West, it looks like it's Troy, but Southern Miss is still in a spot, right? Oh no, Troy beat Southern Miss, right?
And Southern Miss and South Alabama have 1 loss, as well as Troy, but Troy does have the tiebreaker on them. But dude, that's still open, man. That's by no means is Troy, up 3 games or something. I mean, this could come down to the wire. Just think, Troy's 1 loss was that Hail Mary at App State.
Yeah, brutal. Absolutely. But then you look at so that game's going to be awesome. NC Nick's going to be there in Conway with a mullet. Then you have the other game, which Rice and UAB, or not UAB, Rice and UTEP. This game interesting because Rice got upset by Charlotte. Had they done that, had they not gotten upset, they still would have been in a position to potentially play for the CO State championship. Same with UTEP losing to Middle Tennessee. They're still alive.
Yeah, now I doubt if they're either one of them are really going to contend. But really, this is a huge game for bowl eligibility.
I think it's still a critical game for Rice. Only has 2 losses, dude. And when you look at the remaining schedule, knowing
2 conference losses, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And knowing that they could still, you look some of the like Western Kentucky, Florida Atlantic play each other, right? So that's a situation there where one of those teams has got to lose. Also, Rice plays North Texas the final game of the season, so. I'm not expecting Rice to be in there, but I'm just saying like they are still alive. They are 1 game out of playing in that game.
Sure.
So,
I think eventually the cream rises to the top, and
who
me,
is the cream though?
Well, not Rice.
I agree, but I mean, Mike McIntyre has FIU a game out of first place.
Yeah, I know, it's wild. I mean, well, go back to the Sun Belt real quick. The Sun Belt East. Coastal is in the lead with only one loss. And then there's 5 teams with just 2 losses. So at this point in the season, there's still a lot left to shake out. One of those teams with 2 losses is JMU, who is not qualified to win the Sun Belt East this year due to a dumbass NCAA rule. But yeah, there's still a lot to shake out in a lot of conferences. Shout out to Daniel Hill Sr. in the chat saying, I will be one of only 13 fans present for the Coastal game. Hey, you bite your tongue, man.
Why is that though?
True.
I saw some lit fans before, but I know that is it their enrollment is much smaller than other.
A lot of it is a commuter school. I don't know if there's a lot of kids on campus. And to Daniel's point, I think they have the lowest attendance in the Sun Belt. It's either worst or second to worst. But I do expect for this. This has kind of became a rivalry game. And especially being Thursday night national television, I expect a pretty nice crowd. But he's right. In general, they need to step up their game.
Well, hold on. I'm curious. Like, what's App State's enrollment? Because I see that Coastal only has 10,000 people going there. So
okay, pretty small then.
Let me just quickly look at like App State's got 18,000 and change.
Right.
Almost double the size. I'm curious what like Southern Miss's enrollment and stuff would be.
Well, Coastal doesn't have a whole lot of history either. I mean, they're a relatively new football program.
I saw their fans getting out that BYU game. I remember that. So maybe they come out. I get your point though. Daniel's probably an App State fan. He's probably saying, "Hey, screw Coastal." Now that's interesting because you are an App State guy, and so who are you going to be going for?
So true Coastal or true App State fans will be really mad at me to say that I kind of been rooting for both these programs over the last 5 years because they're just both fun programs, and I spent a shit ton of time down near Conway, and I spent time up in Boone near the mountains. So I like both programs. I do like App State a little bit more though.
Me too. All right, let's hop into Thursday's action because both these teams pretty solid, man, and or both these games pretty solid. Is what I meant to say. And so what are you going with here? Daniel Hales from ECU, baby. Yes, there we go. There, hold on, just for that. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Daniel Hill Sr. All right. You get that name correct. You say Senior NC Nick when referring to this
Mr.
classic gentleman here. All right, let's hop into Thursday. Quarterback wise, did you go to?
I did. I went to, and I decided not to go Chase Bryce, who is the most expensive. And that could be the downfall of my lineup because Coastal has a very bad pass defense. But I went with Big Bird Grayson McCall. Come on.
Dual threat. You love the dual threat capability.
At home.
Shiny ass mullet. You know what I mean?
He's had some big games against App in the past. You got to go Big Bird at home, right?
Yeah, Big Bird flies in any weather. All right, and it's flying as the weather looks clear down there in Conway. Second quarterback. I'm curious. Don't tell me we have the same lineups here. What are you doing?
Like it, but TJ McMahon for Rice is putting up some pretty good numbers of late.
Oh man,
play the music.
Sandbagging son of a bitch. I like to think he's the son of Jim McMahon, friend of the program. Go listen to our episode. We've had Jim on a couple times. It's a real quarterback, all right?
In the dark, a Rice jersey looks a little bit like a BYU jersey. So, yeah, why not? But
you're telling me Jim McMahon was soaking. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. See, the 80s were different at BYU, all right? I am not buying one bit.
Buddy.
One bit. Jim McMahon was eating ass at BYU. We could be honest here, all right?
Well, TJ McMahon, you know what he's been doing lately? He carved up Charlotte, had a pretty nice game there. Had 33 fantasy points against La Tech the game before that. UTEP's defense is nothing to write home about. They actually have a decent pass defense, but some of that is schedule based. So yeah, I like TJ McMahon at only 6.4K. The debate, I guess, is if you want to start both quarterbacks in the Coastal app game, but then obviously you're not going to have much money elsewhere.
Yeah. No, I think our approach is better and smarter. I know Chase Bryce could still have a huge game. I mean, the guy had 22 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, but
that's the gamble that we're doing, putting McMahon over Bryce or McCall over Bryce.
Yeah. Running back wise, I have a feeling this team, we're going to have a lot of the same stuff going here. Who's your top dog in the running back room?
First off, I only went 2, and it's both of App State's guys. Cam Peoples 6K, Nate Noel 5.8K.
I was on Cam Peoples at 6K. That is my play.
Nate Noel.
I did not raise a roster Nate Noel. There's too many cooks in that kitchen because Daetrich Harrington gets carries too, man. There's too many guys. There's too many guys.
The other guy, I'm blanking on his name now. It doesn't matter. He's even lower down. But if you look at the rest of the backfields, though, Coastal's backfield, there's a lot of guys in that backfield as well. And then with Rice and UTEP, I wasn't in love with any of their running backs. So I think Nolan Peoples, they've proven before they both can have decent games within the same game.
Well, I have that CJ Beasley's had double the amount of carries of the next running back, Reese White. So CJ Beasley for Coastal Carolina is on my roster at 5,400. And look, he's got 106 carries, 559 yards. But to me, you could say, okay, well, that's not lighting it up. He's still getting over 5 yards a carry. And to me, the big thing is he has the most rushing touchdowns on the team. So I'm going to play CJ Beasley with the hope of that option attack giving some problems to Appalachian State. We know, App State's defense it's amazing they're top 20 in the nation, considering North Carolina dropped 63 on them.
Yeah.
in the season opener. But
they went from UNC's offense to Texas A&M's offense.
Yeah,
so I'm talking about a night and day
styles. Yeah.
But the one thing that you were reading off those numbers of carries on the year. Well, Reese White missed 3 games. So I think that's more of an even split than the total numbers, look. And then, I mean, is Braden Bennett ever going to come back? He hasn't played yet all year. We're not sure, but people are saying that he could come back any week now. I don't know if that's bullshit or not, but that's a third running back you potentially have to be worried about at Coastal. So I steered clear of that, but I do like Beasley.
Yeah, I have $1,100 that I did not spend in this matchup.
Yeah.
All right. So my third running back. Did you have a third running back?
I did not. I went 4 wide out.
Okay, my third running back. You're sleeping on the legend of Ari Broussard. All right.
Okay.
Yes, he averages just 2.8 yards a rush. Right. But he's got 91 attempts. The closest to that is Cameron Montgomery at 51. So he's got 40 more carries than Montgomery. And 9 rushing touchdowns. This guy is a bulldozer at the end zone, like in the goal line. And, they got him the ball. He's got a few catches too. I think he's a value play with 9 touchdowns. Dude, no one in this whole entire slate has close to 9 touchdowns. So Ari Broussard, give me, I like to think he's the son of Steve Broussard is on Michigan State and Jarek Broussard.
Oh yeah, you're
right.
The nephew.
Yeah, there you go. I'm surprised you didn't roster my guy Ari Broussard.
Here's what I did with my flex spot. I stayed on the same team, and for only $400 cheaper, I can get a Rice receiver, Bradley Rosner, who has 4 100-yard games on the year. 2 of them within the last 3. Against Charlotte, he had 5 for 105 and 2 touchdowns. Against FAU, 4 for 135 and a touchdown. you have the same money. You chose the running back. I'm going to go with Bradley Rosner, the wide receiver 2 on Rice. I'm going to stack him. I'm actually going to double stack him with my quarterback, McMahon, because I'm also taking Luke McCaffrey, the other Rice wide receiver for 6.6K.
I mean, if you don't have this guy in your lineup, you're a fool. This is
Michigan
like the one guy. This is the one guy. Dude, I mean, first off, he's the team's like 4th leading rusher. All right. He has over 100 yards rushing. They get the guy the ball in all different like ways. It's been, you look at the game log too. I know last week, just 4 catches, 58 yards and a touchdown, but he also had a 37-yard rush. And then you go back to the game prior, 10 for 171 and 2 touchdowns. He's got another game.
In that same game, he had 3 rushes, 31 yards.
Yeah.
So they just get him the ball in lots of ways.
Dude, he had another game against Houston, 7 for 121 and a touchdown and yards on the ground. He had a game against Louisiana, 10 for 105 and 2 touchdowns and had 26 yards rushing. You have to roster this guy. If not, you're just being silly. You just give us your money. Just
McMahon to McCaffrey. Does that not sound good or what? Did Jim McMahon ever throw any balls to Ed McCaffrey? Probably not.
I don't think so. Maybe. What about Mike McMahon? Did he ever throw any passes to Ed McCaffrey or Christian McCaffrey? Probably not, right?
Probably not. But well, this McMahon is connecting with McCaffrey early and often. I'm going heavy onto the Rice passing attack, which we'll see how that goes. But I got 2 more guys, and they're both receivers. What do you have left?
I have 2 more guys. They're both wideouts too. So you tell me. You fire first.
All right, I'm gonna go with I think the most explosive player on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, and that is Jared Brown for 6.1K.
Hate to say it, buddy. I got him as well.
Another guy that gets a bunch of carries. Last game he got 5 carries. There's another game he got 4 carries. So kind of similar to McCaffrey. Coastal's going to find a way to get this playmaker the ball, and it's a pretty affordable price as well.
Yeah. So my last guy then is probably the same. Do you have a player on UTEP's offense as your last guy?
Yes.
Is
receiver.
Is it what's my guy's name? First
Tyron Smith.
Blank. Yeah, Tyron Smith. Yeah. For the Miners. Well, we got a few differences. What's our bottle of bourbon? What's our bottle of bourbon here?
It's Rosner, the Rice receiver, against your Rice running back.
I love it. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
All right. Before we get to Saturday's slate,
just the main slate. Now we should tell people that unfortunately we have to do this early in the week, so we don't have Friday yet, and we don't have Saturday night yet. I
still might try to squeeze in an episode Thursday where we could do that. Depends.
I might be able to do it. We'll talk after the show, but this is what we have right now.
It's what we have right now. So look, before we get there though, I do want to tell folks out there that, look, we're on YouTube. All right. College Football Experience is on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. And also subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. College basketball tips within the week. And when college basketball season tips, you'll be able to hear me every single night, me and the crew. Every single night we will be here breaking down games, best bets. We handicap every single D1 game. We've done this for years. So now we're going to be on YouTube. So youtube.com/the college experience. Can't wait for that season to tip. But, we're all, on YouTube and the godfathers of all of this, the thing that started it for me, and I think for this whole network, is the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. They're on YouTube, and they're doing a contest right now. They're giving you a chance to win either a choice of an autographed Lawrence Taylor jersey or an autographed Brian Dawkins jersey. Ooh. And the contest is completely free to enter. Subscribe to youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. Comment on a video. Each video is a new chance to win. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss SGP contacting you when they pull out the winner. But I mean, that's a pretty great contest. A free jersey. Now the question is what do you choose there? Because Lawrence Taylor's one.
Got to go LT.
I mean, but it could that's one. It's Lawrence Taylor. There's a high chance it could have like prostitute ass. If he's selling that, there's a decent shot that like prostitute rubbed her ass on that jersy.
Does that add value or decrease value?
Maybe he did some blood. Maybe there's some cocaine. Some white powder that will be on that jersey. And then you got Brian Dawkins, who's looking like a saint compared to
hell of
Taylor.
a safety. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, a little ACC matchup, little Clemson, North Carolina fun. Either way, I mean, what do you got to lose? It's a free jersey, folks. And look, studies show that that wearing new clothes, your chances of getting ass go up higher. That's a fact of life.
What percentage?
12%, 12.2%.
That's it. I would have thought even higher.
Well, for a football jersey, we had that in there too. All right. Chances are, I mean, look, rock stars can wear that and get away with that. You know what I mean? But I feel like, so if rappers or something, like your chances of if you're a rapper and you're wearing the football jersey, your chance to go like 300% chance of getting ass.
As if you needed help.
Yeah. All right, let's get to Saturday's slate, man. First off, how'd you feel about the slate? Saturday day, by the way.
I feel pretty good, man. Kind of similar to, I think it was Saturday night last week. Just a plethora of running backs, and that's why I went with a 1 quarterback, 4 running back approach. I still couldn't get all the running backs I wanted, so I'm curious as your approach as well, because my roster construction this week wasn't like it usually is. So that's neither good nor bad. It just I kind of found myself with money. That's kind of how I backed into my 1 quarterback. But first, do you have 2 quarterbacks? I take it.
I do, and I spent every dollar in this lineup. Every single dollar. Oh.
As did I. But basically, I had my running backs and receivers built, and then I had money left over, and my 1 quarterback is the most expensive one. Bo Nix. Say what you want about him at Auburn or in his awful performance against Georgia week 1. The dude has been absolutely crushing it lately, including the 53 points he put up last week. I mean, did you expect him to have double-digit rushing touchdowns at this point in the season?
No, but going into Folsom Field, the house that Canavas McGee built is a horse of another color.
That's right.
Now I told you. Let me ask you this: Colorado, are they better than Boston College?
Probably by a little bit, I guess.
Boston College lost by double digits to UConn.
That's right. Okay, so so at first, usually I kind of pick my quarterbacks first, but I didn't here, and I wouldn't have picked Bo Nix if I didn't have the money left over. But why not roster him? The dude is averaging freaking 36 fantasy points a game.
What about
you think Colorado's going to slow him down?
No, but I think there's 2 situations with 2 quarterbacks.
Sure.
That are you have to monitor. And look, I'll match them up against you. Maybe this is our bottle of whiskey here.
Okay.
I went CJ Stroud because I thought, why is Nix more expensive than Stroud? I actually think there's a higher chance. I don't know.
Who's worse, Colorado or Northwestern?
I actually think Colorado might beat Northwestern.
But I mean, so both Nix and Stroud are on the road against shitty teams. Game script, you have to be concerned about both. But the one thing too, I think right now we've seen Stroud. You complained about this a few weeks ago. Regardless of the score, Stroud is going to play into the early 4th quarter because they want to get him a Heisman.
I'm on that.
I think Nix is in the same boat. If anything, a quarterback at Oregon, in order to win the Heisman, has to do more than a quarterback at Ohio State.
True, but I think Colorado fans show up way better than Northwestern fans. We saw them storm the field. I think it might be a little bit of a harder environment for Nix to succeed.
I suppose so.
Then all those. This could be like a home game for Ohio State. All their fans are going to be there.
True.
Do you want this to be the Battle of Bourbon here?
It's leader in the clubhouse. Okay.
Okay. My second quarterback. Did you have a second quarterback?
No. 4 running backs.
Well, I'm taking you to H.A. Chapman Stadium, where Michael Pratt, the legend, and his golden locks that Patty C is got as a background of his computer. I bet. He's taking on Tulsa. Look, Tulsa's defense traditionally all right, but Gillespie goes to TCU. They're not as good as they were a season ago. And I think Michael Pratt might have some success against Davis Brin and the Golden Hurricane. So
I like to play.
6,300. Give me Michael Pratt on the road.
He definitely was one of the quarterbacks I was considering. I rostered him last week too. I was really high on him last week. The only problem was Tulane was up so much, they really stepped off the gas, and he didn't do much in the second half of that game. I think only put up like 19 fantasy points or so.
They're up 28-0.
Yeah,
28-0. Yeah.
Right.
This one's on the road. I think he stays in the game a little longer.
Yeah, I would think so. I guess that was what turned me against him, was that he really didn't come through like I thought he would the week before. But I like the play. Can't argue with it.
Then you have okay, so give me your
Running backs.
Yeah. Well, your top.
Yeah. So I mean, these guys were just way underpriced. And we'll start with Mohamed Ibrahim for Minnesota for 7.3K.
Oh man. I mean,
did you not roster him?
I actually pivoted off him.
Why?
Off him. Mainly just because I didn't. I spent every dollar. I wanted to get a couple wide receivers. I'll put it like that.
Well, we just saw what Chase Brown did at Nebraska. Nebraska, now their quarterback might not play. He didn't practice. I mean, they're really gonna punch it in and be done with this year. And Ibrahim and Minnesota should run all over him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't have the money when I decided to do 2 quarterbacks. I didn't have the money because he's like 7. What's his price tag again?
7.3K, which I think for him is actually cheap. I mean, lately he's been 8.4, 8.9, 9.6. So at 7.3K, the problem is that I think he's going to be really highly owned. So maybe that's why maybe you pivot off of him. But for that price, sign me up.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but I'm not doing it. You got to zig when the world zags. All right. All right. My top price running back. I am taking you to Athens, Georgia, where, what do you think the formula is for Georgia winning this game, NC Nick?
So you're going to say run the ball, keep control the clock, keep the ball out of Hendon Hooker's hands, which I agree with that, and I like a couple of the Georgia running backs. I'm curious as to which one you went with.
I went McIntosh, but I looked at all of them, to tell you the truth.
I like Daijun Edwards. He is coming on, man, and I think he's starting to steal carries.
And he's less expensive, so maybe you're right. But I still won't be able to afford Ibrahim. Yeah. So maybe I go with Daijun Edwards here. But my point is,
sorry, go ahead, make your point.
No. My point is that when you look back at that Alabama game, I think one of the mistakes they did, because Jahmyr Gibbs did have a great day, but I think they should have tried to maintain the pace of the game better. That they got behind. Now this was obviously in Knoxville. This one's going to be in I said Asheville. Yeah. So I expect the Georgia to be able. One of the ways to, I think, really get Tennessee out of their rhythm is to milk the clock with the run game. Yeah. I think Georgia has a huge advantage on the offensive line against Tennessee's defensive line.
Agreed.
So I think that's the angle there. But yeah, I'm going to switch it up and take Edwards. I think you're right.
Yeah, he is stealing carries from his guys. He had his best game last week against Florida. I rostered him also for 4.1K in one of my lineups last week. He went 12 for 108, 2 touchdowns. Already has 7 rushing touchdowns on the year, and really that's he's been getting more carries. Like if you look at the first 3 games, he had 4, 6, and 4 rushes. He's been getting more carries as the season has gone on. 5 straight games with double-digit touches. He's kind of emerging, and for all the reasons you mentioned, I do like to grab a Georgia running back.
So then give me your second running back.
Another guy I rostered last week, TCU's Kendre Miller, who continues to crush it, and his price isn't really going up. 6.3K. 6.3K.
I had him in my lineup. I took him out, but now that I've freed up from McIntosh to go to Edwards, I can't afford him. So I will play this music. Let's go. Yeah, at home against TCU's run defense. Against Texas Tech's run defense. Sorry, it makes a lot of sense.
It's 3 straight games over 100. It's 5 out of the last 6 games over 100. Has at least 1 touchdown in all those games. He has 3 of those games were multiple touchdowns. So sign me up. I mean, what the matchup is right. The price is right.
Exactly.
So who did you replace Miller with, or vice versa? Who?
I had Tyjae Spears in there, and I would rather have Miller than Spears. I think
I like Spears though too. I consider rostering him as well, but I do like Miller better than Spears.
My third running back and final running back. I'm trying to quickly pull up the numbers on this though, but give me 1 second because I want to see where they rank. But I'm going. Spencer Sanders is out for Oklahoma State this week.
Yeah.
And I think the clear weakness, one of the clear weaknesses of Oklahoma State's team this year is defensively. Sure. They have the 81st rush defense in the country. That is charting one better than Vanderbilt and two better than Indiana, to give you an idea, folks. I am going to take Devin Neal. There's a chance Jalen Daniels plays in this game.
I heard that. You love yourself some Devin Neal.
Yes, legend. Son of Lorenzo Neal. 5,100.
Okay, all right.
You got to remember that. What's his name's? Hishaw's injured.
Yeah. No, you're right, and that's a fine play. You don't have any more money?
No, not now. Okay. Not now that I switched around.
Well, my fourth and final running back is old Dick Reese. His real name is Richard Reese, but Baylor's running back playing Oklahoma. Last couple of games, 30 plus carries, dude, against Texas Tech. 36 for 148 and 3 touchdowns. Against Kansas, 31 for 186 and 2 touchdowns. He's only 6K. Oklahoma doesn't have a great run defense. I don't know what I'm missing here. So, give me old Dick Reese.
Yeah, and I actually like Baylor's chances this weekend. All right, so I have 3 wideouts. You have 4, correct?
No, I have 3. I had 4 running
3
backs.
Okay, so who is your top price wideout?
But he had a big game last week against Florida, going 5 for 154 and a touchdown. It seems like in the big games, Georgia's Brock Bowers goes off. When he's not needed, he'll have a quiet game against Auburn in a blowout or Vandy in a blowout. But look at the big games. He shows up. Brock Bowers, 6.7K.
I agree. Should have played out here on the West Coast. What a turncoat. That's one thing you noticed watching this watching him all year, or watching that defensive player for Ohio State that just had that gigantic game. He's out of Seattle. Yeah. Brock Bowers out of the Bay Area. Man, vital gets, Bryce Young out of Pasadena. You look at the landscape of the West Coast, like the West Coast. That's why the NIL could help.
True.
Is you see all those guys that are leaving.
Hey, start packing your stadiums with 100K plus, and maybe some of them will stay home too.
I feel like Washington has a good home crowd. I don't know about some of the other ones. Yeah. My top price wide receiver. I don't know if you caught the Pitt Carolina game. Pitt's got really good defensive backs, right?
Well, maybe.
Like coming into the year, that was a position that we're saying,
true. UNC still carved them up, but Downs and Green both had big games. But
Antoine Green is a beast, dude.
Yes,
he's an absolute beast. 10 for 180 and 2 touchdowns. Virginia's defense actually the strong suit of the team, believe it or not. But I don't give a shit. They're not stopping this North Carolina offense. Give me Antoine Green at only 6K. What am I missing here?
That's a good
bargain shop in here.
Yep.
I like it. Ross right now picking out a shirt with a mustard stain on it.
I do like UNC to cover that too. I think they can win by more than 7.5. And if so, obviously Drake Maye in the passing game has to be rolling, and Green is now a big part of that. So it makes a lot of sense. But my last 2 receivers are both under 5K. I'm gonna go back to Xavier White with Texas Tech. He had a couple really big games, was quiet last week against Baylor, only going 2 for 45, but Texas Tech TCU should be a lot of points in that game. So let me get Xavier White bounce back spot from a quiet week last week.
I like it.
4.9K if I didn't mention that yet.
I like it. Well, I'm in that game too. All right. And I'm going to go to the TCU side of things. We saw, by the way, I was just on the SGP show and I picked Texas Tech plus 9.5.
Yeah.
But that was before we saw the CFP just completely disrespect TCU.
Yeah.
I think they might be in fuck you mode. against Texas Tech, and you look at what Tay Barber's done this year. I know Quentin Johnston's been their main horse,
right?
But Tay Barber is expensive. Like he's explosive, and sitting there at 5.6K. Give me that action. Let's go.
I think it just makes a lot of sense to get a lot of pieces in this game. We haven't mentioned any over-unders yet, but looking at that one, 69.5. Without looking at every game, I'm going to say that is one of the highest, if not the highest on the whole slate. Quick scan of things. Yeah, Tennessee, Georgia's at 66, probably a close second. But yeah, by far, that is the highest over-under. So get some players in that game. I like it. My last guy, Texas A&M actually has a couple decent receivers. If they had a half-ass quarterback that could get them the ball, they could be even better. But
I would also argue schematically.
Yeah,
schematically, like that's the one. We see them. They have a 5-star. It's funny. We were there. The guy sitting in the front row, but he was like, he's transferring out of here after this year. He's a 5-star. There's no way there's no way he's at A&M next year.
Right.
And I'm sitting there like, I mean, the guy made an unbelievable catch for a touchdown, but I know they also have Musa Muhammad Jr. Which one are you referring to?
That's exactly who I'm going to go with.
Okay.
Moose Muhammad III. He went 8 for 112 and a touchdown last week. He's capable of having these big games. Unfortunately, he's also capable of having quiet games, especially when that A&M passing attack really, grinds to a halt, which is possible. But Florida, come on. I mean, I think A&M is going to have some offensive success. So 4.7K. The man they call Moose.
I agree. That's a good play. But I just wonder about the scoring. How much scoring will be in that game? But I see. I think it's a good value play. But with I had a little bit more left for a guy that I rostered who, you go back to the well sometimes, and I'm taking you back to H.A. Chapman Stadium. All right. I know Deuce Watts only had 3 for 17 against Memphis, but once again, they were up so much. He did have a touchdown. He's actually scored a touchdown in 4 straight games. And that is why I'm going to roster Deuce Watts. I actually think this game, sneaky spot for Tulane. Tulane's got UCF on deck in a critical game. And they got to go to Tulsa, where Tulsa's a weird team. They always are. Tulsa finds a way to make a bowl every year at 6-6, and they always beat 1 or 2 teams that you think there's no way they could do this.
Yeah, they haven't shown much of late, and I do like Tulane to win. I think I'm going to bet it to cover, but I see your point. It could be a kind of a trap game here, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to take a shot on Deuce Watts. He's got the most receiving touchdowns on this team, so that's my angle there. I know a few other guys. The other Watts you told me about. He gets some carries too, but taking.
Are we all crazy not to roster Jalen? Excuse me. Are we all crazy not to roster Jalen Hyatt? If I could talk and not cough over here.
It's like George Bush with the fucking pretzel.
Pollen.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great video.
Oh, it is.
And pollen up my nose. No,
obviously playing Georgia, but he has been absolutely crushing it lately, including against Bama.
Yeah, you make an interesting case. You make an interesting case for him, but so wait, you're done with your team?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm done
with my team. What's our bottle of bourbon? It's got to be the Fields.
Nick's Fields. Yep.
Let's go,
Let's
folks.
Boom.
Yeah, folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We might even have another DFS show for you this weekend. Subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Subscribe wherever podcasts are found. Also subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. We come together as one on YouTube. Subscribe to the Sports Gambling Podcast, the NFL Gambling Podcast. Get the SGPN app. You'll have access to all of that stuff. Give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC__NICK. I'm on Twitter at @TheColbyD. Give us a follow. Also, hop over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Come on, people. It takes 2 minutes out of your day. All right. We give you these winners. All right. Well, not last week, but you know what I mean. Do that. And get the SGPN app, hop in there and hop in the Discord, talk college football, the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Yes. And let's roll, people. This is the college football experience. Week 10 DFS show. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Sometimes people that are standing on third base think they hit a triple, but they didn't.
Thank you. What the fuck did I do wrong, Tom? Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Can I get a woman? Whoa, Dundee! You probably will talk. That's how it's football in the land. Fine. Watch whip. Watch whip. 3-ounce whip.
Nice beaver.
Yeah, he felt like shit afterwards. Everybody booing the shit out of him, but he worked his ass off. And he's no smarter.